Hi, my name is David P. Shapiro. I'm the owner and managing partner of the law office of David P. Shapiro, located in San Diego, California, where my firm helps good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. In this video, I want to talk to you about what it means when you are offered something known as a lid. So a lot of times in criminal cases, particularly in San Diego, the district attorney will make an offer that may or may not be acceptable to you if you're charged with a crime, or to your loved one if they're facing criminal charges. And it may sound something like this. It may be, counts 1 and counts 4 with a lid of 3 years. Well, what does that really mean? Right? What that means is that the worst case sentence would be 3 years by the terms of that plea bargain, and that you or your attorney or your loved one's attorney will actually be able to argue less than that, whether it's to argue for probation and no jail, whether it's to argue for probation and some jail, whether it's to argue for 16 months or 2 years or 24 months, whatever the sentencing options are, depending on prior criminal history, if any, and the current charges that you pled guilty to. So a lid sort of means that you're bringing the ceiling down. So let's say there's a situation where you're charged with 3 offenses and your maximum penalty under law is 10 years in state prison. The offer may be to plead guilty to 1 charge with a lid of 3 years. For an offense that you get 2, 3, or 4 years for. So what a lid of 3 years means is, worst case, you're getting 3. Your attorney may be able to argue for 2, or maybe he or she could even argue for probation. So it brings the ceiling down. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get that top number, but you also need to be mindful, and more importantly, your attorney needs to be mindful of what the realistic options are for you under that lid, and to be familiar enough with, first, California sentencing law. That's why it's significantly important to hire a criminal defense attorney, not a personal injury attorney who does criminal, not a trusted estates lawyer who takes criminal cases from time to time, or an immigration attorney who goes to criminal court once a month or once every 3 months and says they take criminal cases. You want to have a really fine-tuned and fine experienced criminal defense lawyer to be able to calculate your sentence. Not only that, but to be able to know the key players, to be able to know certain lingo. If a judge says, well, I'm going to read and consider, or if a judge says, well, I'm not going to put this in writing, but he's not going to get more than 2. Or if a DA says, we're not going to be kicking and screaming for prison. To be able to put those cues together and to be able to have a conversation with you and say, why there's no guarantee you're going to get less than 3. I believe, based on my experience, this is what you are probably going to get. And that's essential. It's essential in any type of felony sentencing case. It's even more essential when you're discussing what is my lid, if there is a lid to an offer, and it'll ultimately be up to the judge within the confines of that plea agreement. The lid meaning that's the highest you could possibly get per the deal with the prosecutor. So I hope you found this video helpful, trying to outline and explain what it means when a prosecutor or a judge indicates even a lid of 3 years or a lid sentence. How it doesn't mean you're going to get it means you can get up to that time. And a lot of times that's an incentive where you could say, okay, well, I hope I don't get 3. I can live with this, I can live with this, I can live with that. Let's hopefully we start here and go down. And then you and your attorney talk about where you want to start, what you're hoping for, and what can be done to bring what the lid is, to bring the realistic sentence even further below that. So if you have any questions about felony sentencing, about the prosecution's offer in your case, whether or not you have some questions that may not be able to be answered for whatever reason by your current representation, you can always reach out to my firm at 619-295-3555. And again, my name is David Shapiro. I'm a San Diego criminal defense lawyer.